I'm getting a bit hungry.
Ready for lunchtime?
I think so.
Well, you'll have to wait until I'm finished with the Porsche Taycan because this car is hella interesting.
Is it?
So I had no idea that the Lotus you were going to do earlier had was fully electric.
Okay.
So I've also gone for a fully electric car.
True.
It seems like we're the electric cars podcast now at this point with Neo and...
It's the future, bro. It's the future.
And I'm mainly comparing it to, and wait for it, Tesla, obviously, because that's where its key competitor is.
Good.
Now, I've been told this car was the second most hyped electric vehicle. Don't look that up. And it's after
what was the first?
After the Tesla Model S.
Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. If you haven't heard of that one, you should maybe wake up from your coma.
Yeah.
So obviously I had the same note here, which is the batteries on the floor for the low weight distribution.
So they are like that in the Porsche. Is that what you're saying?
They're like that in the Porsche.
Are they?
Yes.
So they're not behind the seat.
They're not behind the seat.
So they've completely changed their weight distribution.
Yes, because you would get in a 911, you would get obviously
they're
all
right
in the back. Yeah.
Wow.
So this one is the Taycan comes in 3 different options. It's got the Taycan 4S, which is
that how you say it?
Well, how would you say it?
Taycan.
Sorry, Taycan.
No, I don't know. This is your segment.
Hey, no, I don't know either.
Good.
So my main issue with this one, and I regrettably to say this,
Okay.
I've only watched videos of it which are by Americans, which means that it's definitely going to be the wrong pronunciation.
Yeah.
But Taycan is how I will pronounce it from now on.
Okay.
So the Taycan comes in 3 different options. It's got the 4S, which is 390 kilowatts.
Yep.
Now, one thing that's interesting with the electricals, it's interesting to it's interesting to consider them as kilowatt hours, like whatever they're, because I don't really understand the full metrics around the electrical side of it. The turbo comes in...
Even the way you say electrical.
electrical
shows that.
Electronical vehicle.
That's fine.
That's a proper old
We're all here to
person.
learn.
Yes.
Including both of us.
EVs.
Yes. EV vehicles.
I definitely know EV vehicles. The Taycan. So then it goes turbo.
Yes.
This is interesting because I don't think it's got a turbo. It's just the old naming convention.
Yes.
For something that's a little bit faster on the Porsche.
Yep.
Which I don't love it how they've done that, but it's all right.
It is following in the footsteps of Porsche to just take something and slightly change it, but always keep something that feels like it's a Porsche. You know, even the look of the Porsche, they always look similar. Oh, this one is this the one where they have the big brake light across the back?
I think that one is the. I think that there's a more sporty. It might be the next model.
It's not the Taycan.
Actually, it might be.
Okay.
I should have looked into
that.
It could be. I should have looked into that one further.
Well, we'd look it up, but we don't have any
internet.
So we'll continue. Sorry.
Yes, but the
turbo.
And then it goes the Turbo S, which is 560 kilowatt one.
Kilowatts. Wow.
So
that's awesome.
That's pretty cool. It's a pretty powerful car. Which its range on the original, so on the lower quality one. Not the lower quality, the bottom of the spec, bottom of the barrel, is a 414 kilometer range.
Yes.
And so, obviously and naturally, you would want to know how it does in a drag race versus a Model S. So
I would.
So I found.
So this is the base model, or this is
This is the top. So we went for the top flagship.
Yeah.
We went to the top flagship, and then
versus
we went
the Model S.
And then we went to the Model S flagship.
P100D.
Yeah. So we're talking the.
But not the plate edition.
No, not that one.
Okay.
So it's the general accepted flagship of the Tesla.
Good. Yeah.
So dual motors. The Tesla Model S is an 825 horsepower. I'm sorry to switch our metrics. 825 horsepower.
What's the other one?
1300 newton meters of torque.
500 and how many?
So that was kilowatts. So
the Turbo S. Kilowatts?
The Turbo S is 761 horsepower.
Okay.
So
good. Okay.
It's a little less than the Tesla. The Tesla has 1300 newton meters versus the Porsche's 1000 newton meters.
Okay.
And the Tesla is actually slightly lighter. They're 2200. They're both 2200 kilograms.
Yeah.
The Porsche Taycan is actually 2295, so it's very close to 2300.
Yes.
Whereas the Tesla is 2241. So they
very similar.
So the Tesla is lighter, more powerful, and it's got more torque.
Do we know which one is all-wheel drive and which one is rear-wheel drive? Are they all just all-wheel drive?
I believe that they're both all-wheel drive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Model S.
All that talk, you'd have to think so.
Yeah. I think they're both all-wheel drive.
Okay.
And they both. It's so interesting to watch this drag race, and this is based on one guy reviewing it, so it might be skewed. It might be
give it to us.
Not as scientific. The Porsche won both times that they ran, and it's less powerful. It's got less thing.
What?
It pulled ahead. It pulled ahead faster.
What?
And then on the first one, it pulled ahead faster, but I think it could have been a bit of a driver error situation.
Yeah.
So yeah, they ran it again, and I think they ran it a third time, and yeah, the Porsche. There was one run where they took off at the exact same in the first 100 meters. They were kind of the same.
Yeah.
And then the Porsche would just start pulling ahead.
Really?
So it's great to see Tesla, who aren't a racing company.
Yeah.
Doing that well versus Porsche, who have been doing it for 100 years.
Yeah.
It's also great to see that Porsche can still make more out of less, because that's something that they're very well known for, is making it all happen out of a very usually low power setup. So
it's good to see competition on both sides, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's what we want. We don't want Tesla just to be always blowing everyone out of the party.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that Tesla has been around for 13 years or something.
Yeah.
But you've also got to remember that Tesla's only been doing electric, and Porsche has only started doing electric very recently.
Correct.
So I don't honestly know which one's the underdog in this in this scenario.
It's true.
It's hard to know who to root for, but
write it in the comments.
Yeah, which one's your favorite? So one thing with the Taycan that everyone seems to note is the interior is super well done.
Okay.
It's a bit of a different vibe because the Tesla has that huge panel next to you, and that's it's just a giant iPad, and that's pretty much all.
Yeah,
all
it's
there
super
is.
simple.
But it's also it's a bit bare bones. It's a bit.
No, definitely.
It's not as good as most luxury cars would be.
Yeah.
So the Porsche comes with a vegan option for its trim, which is so it's a bit more of a common thing now, I guess. You wouldn't find that 10 years ago.
You wouldn't find that 5 years ago.
You wouldn't, yeah. It's something that's a bit of a trend, but I guess billionaires are getting conscious. So, or anyone that can afford this car. It's got a huge curved display for your dashboard, which is really cool.
Yeah, right.
So it's like a real gamer kind of monitor.
Awesome.
So that's really cool.
And ultra wide.
Yeah, it's really good. So and then it's got all the buttons that you would need to operate. So instead of having levers on the side of the steering wheel, it's got all the buttons you would need. So the headlights, all that kind of stuff. You press them on the side of the screen. They've because they've got the so
you have to take your hands off the steering wheel to turn the lights on.
Yeah, but it's got I assume that would be automatic. But if you want to do it manually and stuff, they would have the they've got all the buttons that are right next to the screen. I don't even know if you would have to take your hands off. It's that close.
Interesting.
But yeah,
we'll have to look at some photos.
We'll definitely have to look at some photos. But it comes with the panoramic glass roof.
Oh yeah, that's a good vibe. That's almost a necessity nowadays.
It's very cool. It looks very cool.
So my dad just ordered a new Hyundai N.
Oh, don't tell me it's got one of them. It's got a panoramic.
It has a panoramic sunroof.
Well, okay, that's less impressive from Porsche now.
Yeah.
But maybe more impressive for Hyundai. It's
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, it's good. It's got a one thing that's cool is you can put your phone. It's got a little nest for your phone.
Yep.
You can put it in there and it'll charge wirelessly.
Love that. I love it when companies are up with this times.
Yeah,
they've realised that everyone's still everyone has phones now.
It's also got USB-C ports everywhere, which is really cool.
That's awesome.
It's definitely future thinking, and it's got a couple more screens. So it's got the standard GPS that you would look at.
Yep.
And then it's also got another screen for climate control stuff.
Yep.
So there's no real kind of buttons.
Yep.
To worry about pressing.
Yep.
In terms of so we'll move on to efficiency. In terms of efficiency, and this is what I could find, the Taycan 4S, which is the standard model, does, and this is going to be a new measure because normally you would look at liters per 100.
True.
It does 27 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So
that seems.
Anyone who knows what that is
seems good, doesn't it?
Anyone who knows what that is would be impressed. But until they learn that the Tesla Model 3 does 11.9, so it does significantly better. The best that I could find for the Model S was about 23.
So it's really similar.
so it's similar to similar to that. So I don't know what the Model 3 is doing. I guess it's much less powerful. So you would assume
it's less powerful. Yeah, I mean you can look at it two ways. It's less powerful, and so, but maybe it needs to work harder to, keep up to speed and stuff like that. So maybe it's going to be less efficient. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, and I guess we're talking dual motors versus Tesla Model 3 would only have one.
Yeah.
So I assume you could cut that in half by having not a dual motor.
Oh yeah.
Because they're both the Model S and the Taycan or whatever it's called, the Porsche are both dual motor. So
gotcha.
You got to consider that as well.
Yep, good.
So the price. This is where it gets very interesting.
Yes.
This is where it gets very interesting because I found that the Tesla was actually more expensive than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Because I went for the full. I went to each place's website, so not going to be the cheapest spot to get it.
Yeah.
You get a better option probably at a dealer.
Okay.
Went to each website and I went for the base model of both options.
Yep.
With no options, no frills.
So this is a Model S and the Taycan.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I went for both of them, and I went with the on-road drive-away kind of cost instead of what it says that it would be, because there's certain prices where it's like from $100,000 whatever, but it actually costs something else.
Yep.
So the Porsche was, and this is the 4S base, was $211,573.
Yeah.
And that's the base model.
That's expensive.
With none of the options. The Model S base came to $141K.
Yeah.
So it's.
Are we talking Aussie?
Yeah, in Aussie. Yeah. So this is in the Aussie
cheap.
stores.
You don't really consider that because you see a few Model S's getting around nowadays, and it starts to become the norm. But you do have to remember that people are spending upwards of $140,000 on these cars.
You got to remember as well when you hear Elon say, "Yeah, we're doing $70K for a Model S," and then you think, okay, that's actually USD, which means that it's 100, and then you've got all sorts of luxury taxes and on-road costs in Australia. So but really interesting comparison. So
I appreciate that. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate you appreciating it.
Good. Okay, that's that.